Let's just start with a number that'll make your jaw drop. $50 to $60 million per episode. Yes, you heard that right. Each episode of Stranger Things Season 5 costs reportedly the same as a mid to high budget Marvel movie. Do the math across 8 episodes and you're looking at something like $480 million total, nearly $500 million. That's Netflix throwing cash at the wall with the confidence that these episodes will stick like cinematic glue to the minds of viewers. Now, the Duffer Brothers have been dropping lines like, "This season is basically 8 blockbuster movies in a year," and at first glance it might sound like hyperbole. But once you start unpacking the production details, you start realizing just how literal that statement actually is. Each episode isn't just a long TV show installment, it's been designed, shot, and edited like its own standalone feature film. Think of the scale of Avengers Endgame, but condensed into 8 narrative arcs with 8 emotional payoffs. It's not just the money that makes these episodes movie level. The Duffers are aiming for spectacle and storytelling on an unprecedented scale. From massive crowd scenes to VFX-heavy sequences, Season 5 is operating in a whole different stratosphere compared to even Season 4. In previous seasons, they were still constrained by TV budgets, network schedules, and episode limits. This time around, Netflix didn't hold back. The goal was clear: make every episode feel like a tentpole event. Every visual effect, every stunt, every set piece was conceived to deliver the cinematic thrill and emotional punch of a feature film. And let's be real, this isn't just about glitz. There's a method to the madness here. By positioning each episode as its own cinematic chapter, the Duffers are not only elevating the stakes for viewers, but also allowing each storyline to breathe, explore its themes, and give characters the depth and arcs they deserve. Now, let's talk about the marathon that was filming Season 5. The Duffer Brothers embarked on a full-year production grind in 2024. When the cast and crew talk about this, they describe it in terms that are frankly astonishing. One day, you're shooting a relatively quiet scene in Hawkins, the next you're orchestrating a massive stunt sequence with hundreds of extras, dozens of crew members, and complicated VFX setups that feel more like a live-action video game than a TV shoot. Over the course of that year, the production captured more than 650 hours of raw footage. To put that into perspective, if you were to sit and watch all that footage back to back, you'd spend over 27 continuous days in front of a screen without sleep. Yeah, there's that much material. And that's not even counting the time the editors and VFX teams spent poring over the footage, selecting the shots that would ultimately make it into the 8 episodes. The scale of this shoot affected the cast in ways that fans might not even imagine. Finn Wolfhard, Gaten Matarazzo, Sadie Sink, and their fellow young actors were working practically full-time for a year. It wasn't just long hours, it was mentally and physically grueling. Stunt sequences, CGI placeholders, heavy emotional scenes, all of it stretched the cast to their limits. Winona Ryder and David Harbour have both talked about the challenge of keeping energy up for months of continuous filming. And it's clear that the actors really had to dig deep to maintain performance quality across the year-long grind. And it wasn't just the actors. The crew, from lighting to VFX, production design, costume, sound, and camera operators, were all working at what some have called a feature film pace every day. Remember, this isn't a normal TV shoot where you might have a couple of high-action sequences per season. These 8 episodes are action-packed, VFX-heavy, and emotionally complex, requiring the kind of precision and coordination you'd expect from a summer blockbuster. Alright, if you've spent any time on the internet lately, you've probably seen some wild charts and rumors about episode runtimes. Some of these are floating numbers like 2.5 to 3 hours per episode, clearly clickbait. The truth? The Duffer Brothers have now clarified the actual episode lengths, and they are long, but not insane. Most episodes run roughly 70 to 90 minutes, which is about the length of a standard feature film. Here's the kicker. Even though the episodes aren't 3 hours each, the storytelling density, pacing, and production value are feature level. With these runtimes, each episode has room for fully developed storylines, intricate character moments, and expansive set pieces, the kind of depth you'd expect in a standalone movie. This is why the 8 movies in a year phrasing works so well. It's not about runtime alone. It's about the scale of storytelling, the level of detail in production, and the cinematic pacing. Also, let's talk about structure. Season 5 is being released in multiple volumes, likely split around 4 episodes, then 3, then the final, massive chapter. This release pattern reinforces the cinematic vibe. Each volume feels like a chapter of an epic story, giving viewers time to digest one mini-movie before diving into the next. It's a smart move by Netflix to maximize engagement and hype, but it also mirrors the pacing you'd get in a multi-part theatrical franchise. So, while some fans may have assumed that 8 movies meant 8 3-hour epics, the reality is more sophisticated. Each episode is polished, cinematic, and densely packed, but you're still getting digestible runtimes that make the binge manageable. unforgettable. Now let's really zoom in on why these episodes feel like full-blown movies. The sets, the crew, and the production-level craftsmanship behind every scene. On any given day, you might have hundreds of extras, dozens of stunt performers, and multiple camera setups running simultaneously. The VFX team is constantly on top of green screen work, CGI monsters, and motion capture sequences. The production design team has gone all in too. They've built sprawling malls, arcades, radio stations, and Hawkins town streets, all fully functional sets that actors can interact with tangibly. Department heads are functioning at a feature film level. Cinematographers aren't just lighting rooms, they're choreographing camera movements for single-take shots. Sound designers aren't just recording dialogue, they're crafting layered, immersive soundscapes that bring Hawkins and the Upside Down to life. Editors have to manage hundreds of hours of footage to maintain narrative clarity, while also highlighting the spectacle. This is also why the Duffer Brothers keep emphasizing the blockbuster aspect. The scale of these sets, the level of choreography, and the attention to visual storytelling all mirror what you'd expect in a feature production. Every sequence, from chase scenes to supernatural encounters, is meticulously planned and executed with movie-level precision. So now that the budget, the year-long shoot, the massive amount of footage, and the cinematic production values of Stranger Things Season 5 are on the table, what does all of this actually mean for the viewing experience? What does it feel like to watch a season built at this scale? For one, the detail in every frame becomes part of the storytelling. The sets aren't just spaces for actors to stand in. They're the result of months of design, construction, and environmental planning. Every corner of Hawkins and every stretch of the Upside Down has been shaped to carry visual information. Background actors, props, lighting patterns, textures, and even familiar objects placed in unfamiliar locations all contribute to that sense of depth. The action is designed with the same intention. Chases, fights, and supernatural encounters play out like feature film set pieces, complete with complex choreography, deliberate camera movements, and integrated practical and digital effects. These moments are staged to feel big, not as TV beats, but as centerpiece sequences. The feature-length runtime of each episode gives room for multiple story arcs to unfold at once. Emotional beats, character pairings, callbacks, and subplots have the space to develop without being rushed. The multi-volume release amplifies this structure, giving each group of episodes its own pacing, tone, and point of escalation, almost like chapters in a multi-film series. The performances also carry the weight of a year-long shoot. With over 650 hours of footage captured, the cast lived through extended emotional arcs, resulting in a continuity and intensity that shows up on screen. With this scale in mind, Season 5 plays less like a traditional TV season and more like 8 cinematic chapters, a finale crafted with ambition, precision, and a massive creative push behind every scene. Stranger Things Season 5 really is 8 movies in a year, and now you know why. It's about budget, ambition, production scale, cinematic techniques, and narrative depth. Netflix and the Duffer Brothers went all in, turning Hawkins, the Upside Down, and the Upside Down's many horrors into a full-feature cinematic universe contained within 8 episodes. When you finally sit down to watch Season 5, remember, what's playing on screen isn't just a TV show. It's a cultural event, a cinematic marvel, and the culmination of years of planning, storytelling, and sheer logistical ambition. Enjoy every frame, because the Duffers, the cast, and the crew poured everything into making sure it's unforgettable.